Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Hello.
If you haven't already done so, we would really love and appreciate if you would like and subscribe to the channel. Share the channel with as many people as you care to share it with. We would really appreciate it. It really helps the channel. We're still growing, still really enjoying it. Hopefully you are as well. So we're here with another Hallmark movie.
Yeah, we're out of Love-uary though.
I was just gonna say, this is not part of Love-uary, right?
They don't even have a role for this. I think it's just part of their new, let's call it Friday Night Mystery.
Yeah, so, you know, Hallmark is known for their mysteries and thrillers. That's not new. But this is the first time we're reviewing one of those.
Yeah, and they've been rolling them out pretty hard, at least in the terms of new shows.
Yeah, there's been quite a few of them coming out.
Today's snippet is Cut, Color, Murder.
It's funny, whenever I see commercials for Hallmark Mysteries, I kind of get excited, right? Because I love thrillers, I love mysteries, like generally speaking. But I think like 8 or 9 times out of 10, they're usually not very good.
No, I've been let down by this Hallmark mystery genre just every single time.
You're relatively new to it, right?
I guess, but I feel like that's the bad cheese that stuck around. Hallmark kind of managed to evolve and kind of make their movies sort of watchable for mid-range adults and whatnot, but the Hallmark mysteries just kind of are stuck in this.
I don't think they're as fully evolved as the Christmas ones, the romance ones. I think they're still, I don't know if they're relatively new, but I think maybe they're trying to still find their footing. That's what I think. I could be totally wrong.
We watch too much Law and Order and it's tainting.
Yeah, it's not on that level, unfortunately. But my favorite so far of the Hallmark Mysteries has been the Mystery 101.
Yeah, that one actually had promise because Christopher Palaha,
he's a favorite of ours.
Yeah, and he's actually really good in that. He's the most believable in that role. And I gotta say, Mystery 101 is the closest Hallmark has come to and nailing this mystery genre, but
yeah, I don't think they've nailed it yet. Cut, Color, Murder, overall this was good. Just enough cheese to satisfy the Hallmark needs that we have, but not too dumb or annoying. Overall, it was good. I enjoyed this one more so than I thought it would.
Okay, so what's this one about?
Okay, so when beauty pageant creator Mitzi Stewart, played by Rebecca Stabb, is found dead, the savvy small-town hairstylist Allie, played by Julia Gonzalo, works with a new detective, Kyle Crawford, played by Ryan McPartlin, to try and find the killer while risking everything to clear the names of those she loves. Allie, of course, knows everyone's business and prides herself on solving the small-town crimes, and she deserves the praise. Even the town's police officers come to her for advice or the inside scoop of what's going on in the town. As always, the hairstylist knows everything. She also tries to investigate the murder of her own husband. Oh, he got murdered a few years prior to this.
Yeah, I feel like
she was part of the investigation. She was trying to figure it out.
They held off on telling us about that one.
I think the intention here is that this will become a series and will delve further into what happened to her husband.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the town is gearing up for the annual Miss Golden Peak pageant. So stress, nerves, excitement, anxiety is at an all-time high for everyone. So it's really unfortunate when the pageant creator is found dead and everyone in town becomes a suspect, including Allie's sister. So I found that this one had a lot of familiar Hallmark faces.
Well, there was tons. And I mean, that is one thing that this movie did correct right away, was introduce so many cast members. And it's kind of what you have to do in a murder mystery.
A whole bag of possible suspects.
Yeah, exactly. And it was obvious.
To try and throw us off a bit, right?
But it was done actually pretty well. And, you know, they threw in a lot of faces we knew. I thought they did a really good job getting us involved in the murder mystery right away. I mean, within the first 20 minutes, you're already trying to figure out who is going to die, first of all, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, you called it off the bat. I mean, I love a whodunit, but I've never been very good at like making predictions ever. And I know you're really good at making predictions.
I love doing it.
Yeah, so I didn't know who was going to be the victim, but you did call it in this one. Yeah, I liked it. I like mysteries. I like thrillers, even if it's on a Hallmark level. I thought the pacing was great. It was quick, but you know, Hallmark does quick pacing very well.
Yeah, and in this they had to, because they didn't have any time to really develop much story.
They had to introduce us to a bunch of possible suspects, so a bunch of characters. They had to develop a story. They had to establish Allie as like the small town investigator who knows everyone, and they did a good job with it.
Now I found that kind of weird, and I find that weird with all of the Hallmark mysteries. Is like there's this lead female character that has no business doing what she's doing, has no business being around so many dead bodies, or like. And these cops are just so bad. That's why it brings me back to Palaha, because he actually was believable.
He was very believable, and he was smart. But yeah, in terms of the pacing, I thought it was good. It wasn't wasn't, and maybe I felt a tiny bit rushed, but it worked.
Yeah.
So McPartlin and Gonzalo, the two leads, I think they have great chemistry together on screen. The entire cast was really good. Nothing that stood out too much.
No, a lot of people kind of playing their bit parts.
So this appears to have been a big hit last night when it premiered. So a lot of people on Twitter were saying that they were hoping that it becomes a regular series. So we don't know yet.
So is this like framed as like maybe it's a movie, maybe it's a series?
I think it was already kind of in the works to have it as a series. Usually these mystery thrillers are series.
Yeah, well, it's a large cast pool to have regulars.
I think it's totally doable.
Let's
get into some major spoilers here because I want to talk about that ending.
Yeah.
I did not like this ending. So Allie said, like earlier in the film, Allie said that Kyle looked familiar to her and that she never forgets a face. And he kind of like brushes it off very quickly. And at the end, we see her at her husband's grave looking at some photos, and her husband's in the photo, and then she notices that Kyle is also in the photo.
Yeah.
But what I didn't like is like we never saw those photos anywhere else during the show.
No.
Or did we? We didn't see anything.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Like, where did they come from? So I think it seems weird to be introducing this new element like right at the end. I think it would have worked better if maybe we had seen the photos before. You know, she's looking at photos of her husband, just reminiscing or feeling sad that he's now dead. And then maybe like she didn't notice someone blurry in the background or something like that.
I guess.
Because he was right front and center in those
police
photos.
Officers that's their job.
But he was so obvious in those photos, so that must have been the first time she was looking at them. There's no way you would have not noticed Kyle.
Exactly.
In them. So that means we didn't see them at all through the film. So I thought that was. Remember, I was like, wait, what are those photos? Where did they come from? Did we see them before? Like, did she just like whip out photos?
They were planted.
Well, I mean, I just thought like, I don't know, there was a hole there. I think there was a hole, plot hole. So let's talk about performances here.
Yeah. I feel like it was hard for single talents to really stick out in this. The lead didn't even really.
I didn't, like, what I was going to say is I didn't find both leads really stood out for me at all, which is quite strange.
Well, I feel like the cop.
He didn't come across as this, like, confident, strong police detective. Investigator.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe him. I think he was just, like, kind of blasé about the whole thing.
Yeah, but that's kind of my beef with this whole genre is basically in order to make these even work at all, the cop has to be a complete dumbass and bad at his job.
Well,
there's no room for like realism here at all.
Come across as like dumb per se.
And people enjoy this genre still, and it's totally doing well. It hasn't tickled my fancy once.
Not yet. I still want to give it a chance. As I said in the beginning, I think they're still trying to find their footing, their grounding in this. I think they'll get it to the level of Hallmark. Obviously, it's not going to be like a David Fincher.
Well, no, I know. I want them to be up to where the other Hallmark movies are, at least.
But I think in terms of the leads, she stood out for me more than he did.
Yeah, she did for sure. She was actually pretty
had more
good.
to work with too. She had more lines.
A lot of the acting in this was really good. Just nobody really had a standout role because of the nature of the film. And I kind of
there's also like a huge cast. So I'm talking about the two leads, like Allie and Kyle.
They barely had screen time together. He was only in the movie because he would show up at every crime scene after she was already at it.
I know these ones are tricky. It's tricky to have a certain character stand out, even though there are two obvious leads, but there's so much going on.
There's so many more standout characters to me. She actually played the lead fairly well. Like she felt like a lead character. The cop felt like nothing. He felt just like he was there because he had to be. You
kind of touched on this. Like I would be so annoyed if I was either a police officer or a person in town.
Yeah, can you give me
what's going on?
Give me the chalk back and I will do the outline.
Exactly. Like
in every case of every mystery Hallmark thing, all of these women would be thrown in jail so quickly.
Yeah, I know. For real.
Obstruction of justice immediately.
I mean, she was tampering with evidence. Her fingerprints are now all in the crime scene. It was a bit much.
We're not looking for any of these to be like CSI or
I think maybe we're expecting a bit much. Going on with performances, I really liked the mother, Eva Tamargo. It's great to see her in the matriarch role as Carol. So she's actually the mother from the 90s soap opera Passions.
Oh yeah.
You are my passion for life.
So it was cool. I haven't seen her in any other Hallmark movie. And I thought she was good as the mother. I also really liked the sister.
Yeah,
I forget her name, but let's put the name over here. Yeah, the younger sister.
Oh, I did want to say that I liked the setting of this. I thought doing it at a beauty pageant, murder mystery sort of thing kind of, it felt like Miss Congeniality. Jinx.
Which we love. That's like one of the best rom-coms ever. So that was very cool too.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
It felt promising, and I'm not going to lie, I was asleep by the end.
I know. That should say something.
Yeah, and I was engaged, and then I was at maybe.
And then you lost it.
It was either tired or it was bad.
So let's talk about the director and the writers here. So one of the writers, and I love when this happens, here is Ryan McPartlin.
Ryan McPartlin.
McPartlin, sorry. He's also executive producer on this one. I like when the actors take on different roles in the production.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if he's had any other writing credits. I know he's had a few other producing credits before. But yeah, he's one of the writers here, so that's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. The other writer is this person here.
I agree.
This was directed by Stacey N. Harding. She's directed a few episodes of Charmed. She actually directed
some of the Murder 101.
Mystery 101.
Mystery 101.
The latest one we watched. Yeah, so the episode was called Deadly History. That was the last one we saw.
Oh, so that one was the one that was a little too much to me. And quite honestly, that actually makes a lot of sense to how this movie was. Because that was the episode of Mystery 101 that was like, what the hell did they do there? I don't know if they tried to
ending.
Just felt like they tried to do way too much in one episode, which makes sense for this movie. And I think the writing actually generally was fairly good. It just didn't, I think this genre, I have more of a problem with the genre, not the
I think you have a problem with Hallmark attempting to do this genre. Because this genre, the experience we have with mysteries and thrillers is very much like R-rated.
No, but I still want a mystery rom-com. I feel like there's something they still haven't hit where it's still living too much in one of the worlds.
That's why I mentioned I think they're still growing this genre. I think it's still finding its footing. Especially in like this time, this day and age.
Yeah.
I know they've had these types of movies for a really long time, like Hallmark, but I think they're trying to move it forward in a way that, I don't know, is kind of risque, but also very Hallmark.
They'll get there.
Yeah, I know, for sure. We have to accept a certain amount of cheese, a certain amount of fluffiness, a certain amount of sweetness, even if it's a murder mystery when it comes to Hallmark. We don't have a list for this particular one. This is new. No. We haven't really reviewed a Hallmark murder mystery, and
if we continue with the mysteries, maybe we'll make another list, or just kill the list for this, or just
for this one we don't have the list. We're just gonna mention if it hit the Hallmark or missed the Hallmark.
Well, for me, and I still thought this movie did very well, and I think it's on the top of the genre. But I just like this side genre so much that this one missed the mark for me.
You know, I was going to say hit, but I think I'm going to change my mind. I know we were going to split, but as I just sit here and think about it, like, it was enjoyable. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it as much as, you know, Mystery 101. And I'm sorry to have to keep comparing it to that one, and they're in the same genre.
And I very much didn't think that was great either. So
I really liked that one, but maybe it's because I really like Christopher Palaha. God.
It's never gonna work. Just say Chrissy.
I'm sorry. I still think it's worth a watch. It's not the greatest mystery thriller from Hallmark.
But you tell us. Maybe
Let
we're
us
idiots.
know, guys. Yeah, engage with us. We want comments and all of it. Okay, so that's it for this guy. Stay tuned next. Next is a big one, guys. Big one.
I'm excited. Actually, we get to
What's
watch
on tonight? The Wedding Veil Unveiled, Part 2. We're in Italy. This is going to be huge. This is going to be big. We love this. We loved The Wedding Veil, the first one. We're going to love the second one. That's in a few hours from now. So stay tuned for that review.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
And share. Thank you again, everybody.
See you soon.
Bye.
And cut.